All right, guys, today I wanted to talk about a rumored divide at Lucasfilm. Now, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but we've heard a rumor about there being a divide between Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy. Now, you guys know how I feel about Kathleen Kennedy. She needs to go. She's done a horrible job as the leader of Lucasfilm, and she is one of the people that's most responsible for the destruction of everything that George Lucas has created. Now, I do blame Bob Iger, I blame Rian Johnson, I blame J.J. Abrams, but let's not forget, when it comes to J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, it was Kathleen Kennedy that hired them. Now, Jon Favreau, he's working on The Mandalorian. He's solely in charge of that, and it seems like he has full creative control over The Mandalorian. Now, there's been rumors for a while that Jon Favreau is the leading man to replace Kathleen Kennedy whenever she leaves Lucasfilm. I don't know how true that is. I really don't know. But when you look at the decision making of Kathleen Kennedy versus the decision making of Jon Favreau, just when it comes to Star Wars, it's night and day. Now, granted, Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of all of Star Wars. I get that. Jon Favreau, he's in charge of The Mandalorian. But people have been talking a lot lately about the Leslie Helen hire. And this is another failure of Kathleen Kennedy for hiring the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein when there's an ongoing lawsuit against Disney executives when it comes to Harvey Weinstein. But the personalities, I believe, that Kathleen Kennedy has hired doesn't kind of line up with what is going on with the women in The Mandalorian with Jon Favreau. The Kathleen Kennedy regime is all into the identity politics. And when you listen to some of the quotes from Leslie Helen, it fits right in with the SJW mindset of Kathleen Kennedy. Now, you have to remember this. Leslie Helen deleted over 200 tweets before she was actually announced as a new showrunner for Star Wars. And a lot of people aren't interested in whatever she's putting out because of this kind of quote here. When she said, quote, "I think white women need to step up their game, to be quite honest. Sorry, I'm calling you bitches out. You really do. Because I couldn't agree more with everything these women are saying, but I'm also seeing the silent killer, which is a lot of white women at the top who are kind of reinforcing old ideas." So that is the mindset. White women, this, that, identity politics left and right. Leslie Helen is getting all of the headlines right now when it comes to Star Wars. But you have to remember that Deborah Chow did direct the best episodes of The Mandalorian. And also she's going to be directing all of the episodes on the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, which a lot of Star Wars fans are really looking forward to. But she's not getting the pub because Deborah Chow really does not talk about any type of SJW stuff. And she actually had a quote here, and it's the complete opposite of what Leslie Helen said. Talking about when it comes to being a director, a female director, Asian director, she said this, quote, I want it to be about the work. I want to be a good director, not a good female director, not a good Asian director. But at the same token, obviously, my career path and the representation is important. It is meaningful. I want to see more women directors, and I want to see more directors of color, close quote. Yeah, so she actually did say she wanted to see, more women directors and more women of color directing. But I think she did get it, and she knocked it out the park when she said that she just wants to talk about the work. She doesn't want to talk about her being a director, her being a female director, or her being an Asian director. She wants to see other people get more opportunities that are women, that are minorities, but she doesn't want that to be the talking point on it, because you still have to have the talent at the end of the day. And I think that she understands that. I don't think Jon Favreau hired her for The Mandalorian because she's a woman or because she's Asian. I don't think that's the reason why. So now we have this rumored power struggle between Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau. Do I believe there's a power struggle? I don't know. But creatively, they're not the same. First of all, Jon Favreau is a creative mind. Kathleen Kennedy is not. Jon Favreau absolutely knows what he's doing when it comes to The Mandalorian. Now, has he been a little bit handicapped by Disney and Lucasfilm? Probably so. I mean, I really did enjoy The Mandalorian. It was good. It's some of the best Star Wars you can get post George Lucas. And that's probably going to be the pinnacle of how good Star Wars can be in live action. Because I do believe if he had the handcuffs off and he was free of Kathleen Kennedy and Disney completely, I think it could be even better. Now, granted, George Lucas was on set for The Mandalorian. I'm pretty sure that he gave his input on some things. But still, at the end of the day, Jon Favreau did the best he could, being handicapped by an executive in Kathleen Kennedy that can't find her way out of a paper bag. She's incompetent. She's just not good at her job. But when you're an SJW, you're going to surround yourselves with other SJWs. Now, how did Jon Favreau actually get this job with The Mandalorian? I don't know. I don't know how much involvement Kathleen Kennedy actually had with this, because we heard that Jon Favreau was actually writing The Mandalorian way before he was even hired to actually make The Mandalorian. Could it be more of a Disney thing than a Kathleen Kennedy thing? I don't know. But I do believe that there's some kind of a divide. Do I believe that Kathleen Kennedy has strong input on The Mandalorian? No, I don't think so. But also, I don't think that Jon Favreau is really having any influence on anything else except The Mandalorian. I mean, my goodness. Kathleen Kennedy is creating the High Republic. The High Republic is not Star Wars as we know it. These people actually put on a board, no war in Star Wars. It doesn't make any sense. These people actually think that Star Wars can be Star Wars without the war. That's not going to work. That's the whole point of Star Wars, is to actually have war. You need conflict in these things. And they don't get it. Now, Mandalorian, it's about a lone gunman, the old Wild West. And Star Wars, the original Star Wars, was kind of like that. If you look at the cantina scene in A New Hope, it was kind of like the Old West a little bit, and I guess you can say Obi-Wan Kenobi was the old John Wayne. If you're into, the old Westerns and things like that, or, Clint Eastwood, something like that. I think he understands Star Wars, but Kathleen Kennedy absolutely does not. So is the conflict real? That's the main question. It could be. It very well could be. And I hope that Jon Favreau does one day get more authority over at Lucasfilm, because Kathleen Kennedy clearly is not the answer. But her contract ends next year. We have to see where this goes. We have to see where it goes. Hopefully she'll retire. Just let her go away. I think Favreau would be a great president of Lucasfilm. Let's talk about Kevin Feige too, but Kevin Feige has the MCU going on right now, and with his SJW mindset, I don't want that to infect Star Wars. Favreau seems to have a good head on his shoulder. Him and Filoni working together, I think that's a pretty good pair. They know what they're doing. But anyway, guys, what do you think of this? Is there really a divide at Lucasfilm? It seems like Kathleen Kennedy is hiring people that are completely different from who Jon Favreau is getting on board with The Mandalorian. There could be a real divide, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.